All right, hey guys, Sam here. Oh, middle of the morning here, September 9th, and we've got a lot of activity here, and the kind of information we were hoping to get to clarify where we are in this Elliott count, and some of the market geometry is giving us good clues here. So it's a good time to be looking here. We're going to start with the majors. This has been our reference chart. This is the 4-hour Bitcoin against the dollar on Bitstamp. And it's just kind of interesting timing as I'm making this. So we've just to the dollar ticked the algo target here, which is this negative 23.6. So I'm pulling from what I have labeled as the B low, which down to here, which ended up being, now we had it either as a 4 or an A, and we've just wicked that algo target, and you're seeing a little reaction. Now, interestingly, that little overlap there aligns with the 100% here. So let me see if I can move it a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so here I'm going from our low to our A high to our B low, and there's the 100%. So we've just gone to that little pocket there between, so we're at 100% of the A wave, and we've just ticked it. So, that's just it doesn't get any better than that in terms of fib targets here. This is a very common target, very common relationship between an A wave and a C wave. And you've got the algo target here. Now, the only thing missing would have been a tick of the median line, but we'll keep an eye on that, because nothing says that we're done here with this move. So some of the good news here is that we can start to remove some of the alternate accounts, or what we had actually labeled as our primary account. We were considering the possibility of an A, then up to a B, and then down to a C. But it's the alternate count, which ended up being the bullish count, which has won out here. So now we can get rid of that, at least for the time being, and say, all right, well, now clearly, again, it doesn't take an Elliott academic to evaluate here that we've got a 1, 2. Here's our 3, came down for the 4, right to the 38.2, held the A wave high. I mean, it's just technically perfect. There's the Vegas wave, held it with the edge of the median line. It's just been, just technically as good as it gets, right? So we want to take advantage of this. So right now we're certainly not calling a top here, but you got to look at that and say, well, we're definitely at a spot where you could expect a reaction. Now, in addition, right, we've got a little market structure here. So we've ticked also the prior swing high here, currently labeled as a B wave. So the reality is, it's not a surprise that we're going to get a little reaction there. Now, does that complete the fifth wave? Whoops. Does that complete the fifth wave? Well, we don't know that yet. But we certainly have a structure here that could be starting to top out. So if I go down to our oscillators, we've got a little divergence here. So we're in the hot zone on the RSI, and we've got a little bit of divergence here from the highs here. Let me get a trend line here to try and make the point here. So if I pull this up a little bit, you can see we've got just a touch of divergence here. So we had higher highs here. So we got a little bit of divergence here as price makes a new high. The oscillator's not getting a new high. So potentially, nothing more than likely a reaction here, which is not bad news. It means, if you're not in this, and I did not catch that, and we're going to review that. If you didn't catch that because we went to the 38.2, well, there may be another opportunity presenting itself here. So let's look at it on a smaller time frame. So here it is on the hourly. Now, this is on Kraken only because this is where I've been trading it. So I'm watching this one. So, I have a couple of things drawn up here. So we've got our nice channel on this. Now, I drew a box here between the negative 23.6, our algo target, working off of this swing low. This is our 2 low, up to our 3 high, down to our 4 low, which ticks the 38.2 perfectly. Then this negative 23 here, that's your algo target. But I drew a little box here because if this is a 3-wave, which certainly we can quantify it as an impulsive wave now, it's subdivided perfectly. So likely targets here are between the negative 23, that's algo target, and the 161.8 of the wave one here in this current wave, right? We don't know if it's the final wave, but it's the current wave. So I just drew a box here, and interestingly, that's right where we've gone, right to that little pot. Now we just tick the bottom end of it, and perhaps we start to retrace. So the opportunity here is potentially for we're coming down into a fourth wave, and we've got the possibility now of new highs. Now I've got this nice channel that looks like it's been supporting quite nicely. So let's do a quick bit of review. So I'm going to pull this off to declutter the chart just so we can look at this. Now here, this is what happened over the weekend. So I had a little box down here. This is where I was trying to buy it. I did not get filled. Here's the reason. So if we go from our what's currently now this C low, 4 low, up to what we were identifying as either an A or a B, we had our entry here between the 50 and the 618. Now why there? Well, if you'll recall that the most common target for a retracement for a second wave or a B wave is between the 50 and the 618. That's the most likely target. So we had a lot of structure there. We had good alignment. We had the channel. We had a lot of things there. Doesn't do it, right? So this is not uncommon for Bitcoin to do this kind of thing over the weekend. You've got fewer people watching it. And, if you had a busy weekend like I did, I wasn't able to watch the markets as closely as I might have liked. But, so I left my order down here just a few ticks above the 50. And what does it do? It turns on the 38. So you get a little... it was tricky, right? Because it looked like it might have a nice subdivision here into an A. There's the B, and the C would go down. Just perfect symmetry. It was all potentially there, but it double bottoms on the 38 too, and then rips, right? So, you can speculate as to why. We've got the fork coming up. We've got Segway. We got a couple of things fundamentally that could be driving this, but it's not as much for us as traders and technicians. Out of curiosity, we want to know what's driving that. Certainly, that's so why? You could just keep it simple and more buyers than sellers, right? At the end of the day, that's what's driving the market. People want to buy it and they're willing to pay these prices. So, our job is when it's moving, how does it move? Can we position ourselves to take advantage of that on the assumption that patterns that repeat over and over and over again won't fail to repeat here again. So we have the opportunity to position ourselves in the market with some nice risk reward. So if you miss this, sorry, that's trading, right? You're at the 50, it'll turn at the 382. Remember, the market it has an amazing way of always trying to fake you out and getting you to do the wrong thing at the right time and the right thing at the wrong time. So keep that in mind. This is a bit of a battleground here because you're competing with other traders and usually traders with much larger, much deeper pockets. I'll put it that way. So people that were able to just jump on this or buy it with less precision because we are more concerned about risk reward and our downside potential. Hey, good for you. If you caught that, I'm happy for you. But I didn't, and so now we wait. So that's the thing. You don't beat yourself up. That was the intelligent trade, right? Not that this is not technically a reasonable spot, but it's only about 15% of wave twos will retrace to the 38 and take off from there. So the percentage play was down here at the 50 edge of the channel. Sometimes the market's not always going to give it to you. It just doesn't cooperate, so it takes off. So what do we do now? Well, we wait for the 4. Right? It doesn't mean we can't make some money here. It just means that we're not in this ride. So where are the targets? So here again, I've got the swing low to the wave 1. We turn it to 382. So where are we likely to go? Well, here's the negative 23 of the whole move. Here was the negative 23 of this move. We're to and through. We stall at the negative 618. Indecision creates our 4, and now we're up. And now here, the red here is the negative 100% from this draw here at the 382, which is an upside target. Now, again, since we have a couple of different ways to measure a third wave, which is advantageous to us. So we've got the straight pull on the fibs, but then we know if this is indeed a third wave, which I think we can clearly quantify it at. We have another upside target here for a true third wave would be up here between the most likely target between the 161.8 and the 175. That's the most common length and common relationship between the one wave to a third wave. So, are we going to stall here? Are we going to go up further? Better market structure up here because we're coming up to the outside edge of the channel. So that's a contender. But, we've definitely got some resistance to get through here. At this level here at 4670, 4660, this little pocket here is going to be some resistance. Does that turn it? Well, we don't know. We don't really care. What we're looking for is the 4 now. So this is going to turn when it turns. You can't, certainly you can't buy it here. Maybe you had an opportunity on the 15-minute to catch it here, but that was a shallow 4. Bottom line, if you're not in this, you're waiting. You're on the sidelines and we're waiting. And so we're going to try and do the same thing we did here. So we're going to try and be logical about it, use the percentages, and if you miss it, you miss it. But you don't change your approach, because the market's on a tear here and you're not in it. So you just wait patiently because there will be retracement here. There will be profit taking. That's just human nature. The people that caught this they'll be following with stops. They'll want to take some profit. There will be an opportunity. So what do we need to see? Well, we need to see some sort of 3-wave corrective action. So we wait for it. We need to see something along these lines. Let me put the wave on it. So that's what gives us some probability and some the advantage of waiting for what we like to see, what we want to see. So you just got to be patient and you just wait for it. So we do what we would do in any circumstance like this when we've got any kind of swing. It doesn't matter what the market is. So if that's our high and we start to break it down, well then we're looking for entry down here at the 50, between the 50 and the 618. Now, if you want to be a little more aggressive, because we know that common wave 4s will go between the 38 and the 50, so that might be a partial entry. Now, how would you know whether to go at the 38 or the 50? Well, you're looking for the 3-wave subdivision. So look at it here. All right, so this is where this got a little tricky. So we had the 3-wave subdivision here. You have the ABC, and it was technically valid. So here it is. So what we were looking for was that. Doesn't happen. But there was some, take a look at this. So we'd want to look for that relationship between the A wave and the C wave. So we're down at the 100 looking for that. Doesn't turn. It turns at the 618. That gold here. So that's, it's less likely, but it's technically valid. So we get a short C. That was the fake out. We get a short C. So, you've got the same confluence that we look for. You've got the 38.2 of the pull here of the wave 1, and you've got the 618. So you had a little pocket there. You had a little pocket. Oscillators, listen, you miss it, right? I missed it. It just doesn't play ball for us and come down to the 2 where we were sitting there waiting, licking our chops, trying to get in. So my point being that here's what you're looking for up here. We're looking for that subdivision. So swing it up again. So we can see nicely here. We get some sort of 1, 2. Here's our big 3. There's a shallow 4, and now we're still cranking out the 5th of the 3rd, and it looks like we're still going. So where's the top? Well, this is going to be interesting to see how it responds right here. Very interesting. Still rolling. Still rolling. We wait. When we look for that 3-wave sequence, because otherwise you just, how do you know? 382, 50, 618, 786, could be any of them. You've got to look for some structure to try and help you in terms of timing that entry in order to lower the risk. So if you're buying at the 38.2, remember, if you're buying 38.2, where's your stop? You can be under the 50. You're going to be under the 618, the 6.5. Now you're trading your wallet rather than the probabilities of markets behavior. That's why, if you wait for the 50 and your stop's under the 65, the risk is lower, the upside is greater, right? Because the market's retraced more, so you have greater potential on the upside. Right? That's the downside of trading this here. You got to put your stop under the 50, which is our most likely target. See, it's the challenge of it. So sometimes you're just going to miss it. The market's just, not going to give it to you. And it's not uncommon for Bitcoin to make that kind of move over the weekend. Fewer people watching it. So we will wait patiently for this to set up for the next opportunity to be a buyer in there. Right now, we can't, you got to keep in mind, this doesn't mean necessarily that we're off to the races. And, we are still... we still potentially, right, this is all corrective. So we still have the potential for this to be A, B, C up here. That still keeps it. So, we are still internal. We are still internal. Now let's take a look at it. I think we've gone past the 786. We have. But our structure here implies that we're completing a 5-wave sequence. Now, nothing says that it means it has to turn. So it could just keep ripping. But you've got to be mindful of the fact that the potential remains here until we break to new highs. We're making an internal retracement. It's just been a very, very, very strong C wave here, or X wave, because this is our larger degree. ABC to a W. ABC completes the X. X connects to ABCs. Still a possibility. So keep that in mind. All right, so I'm at 16 minutes here. I'm going to break here because I just don't like these to be too long. It takes too much time to get through too many markets. So I'll break it up. So here's the Bitcoin update, and I'll be back to you shortly, and we'll look at Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple. All right, so I'll stop there and back to you shortly.